Hi everybody, this is Cecily at Konama Health Foundation, and this is the 7th in our series of videos introducing our grants management software, SmartSimple. The focus of this video will be finding and creating a grant application. Konama's 2020 grant opportunities can be found on your user home portal under Funding Opportunities. Let's go to the user home portal. There's the Funding Opportunities button. You can apply for you can have one application for each of the opportunities. And in 2020, we have 2 cycles, the Konama Health Foundation grants and the Northern New Mexico Health Grants Group's grants. Now it's important to first double check the selection that you have on your user portal page for which organization your contact profile is currently attached to. If you're attached to more than one organization, it's the organization that's listed here at the top that the application will be connected to. So to be sure that you're connected to the correct organization to submit the application for the right organization, double check. And another tip, use Save Draft often while you're working. I'll say more about that a little further along. So let's go ahead and find an application. And when you click on an application, the first thing that happens is you're routed to an eligibility quiz. This is similar to our previous grant software. The Konama Health Foundation quiz will ask you to verify your tax-exempt status. The Northern New Mexico Health Grants Group quiz will ask you about your geographic focus and again to verify your tax-exempt status. So let's select 501c3 entity and click Submit, and my application opens up. Let's do a review of application form geography. Like all the forms in SmartSimple, it has a header, it has some tabs, it has a tab bar here along the left, it has some buttons on the bottom and some navigation buttons, and it has a special tab called Resources, and I'll cover that a little further along in the video, but that's worth exploring. There are 4 types of fields in an application. The mandatory ones are marked with a red asterisk. There are short text fields and longer text fields. There are drop-down fields where you're allowed to select one choice. And there are checkbox fields, and when you see checkboxes, you may select as many as are appropriate. Now, another interesting feature of the SmartSimple grants management software is what's called dynamic visibility. And this means that depending on some of the selections you make in those drop-down and checkbox fields, new fields may appear, and even new tabs may appear and disappear. For instance, if you notice right now, I have these 5 tabs, but if I select project support, which requires me to complete a budget table, the budget table tab appears. That's dynamic field visibility. You may also be asked for attachments, depending on what you respond to in certain fields. So let's move on to the Geographic Information tab. At first, this may look like we're asking for the same information over and over. So look at it carefully. The first thing we ask for is a text description of your geographic focus. The second group of responses we ask for is about the application's range, which means where the work is going to happen. And we ask you for a primary That's a drop down. You can only choose one. And you can also, in the check boxes, choose other areas where you might be working. That's the range of your application. And the last type of geographic information we want, which looks very similar, is impact, which is where the effects of your work are going to be felt. Often this will be the same, but not always. And that's why we ask you to tell us those things. Okay. Let's look at the budget table. This is required for project and technical assistance grants in the Conalma Health Foundation grant cycle and for all Northern New Mexico Health Grants Group grants. So here is the budget tab, and as you can see, it has a little purple button that makes this form appear in a pop-up window. I like to expand this pop-up window a little to give myself a little more room to work. First thing it asks is how much money I'm applying for, and it will put that down here. If I have other revenue coming in and how much of it is secured. There are some instructions here. Please do read them. We want you to round all your expenses up to the nearest $100 if you need to. Bundle expenses within a category into a single line item, and explain your selection or provide additional itemization in the narrative field. Let's make sure we can see some narrative fields when we move farther down. Here we go. And let's see, let's call this. You can use these fields to explain we're spending this way or where it will go. When you have entered everything, you want to make sure that your total expenses and Conalma share of expenses match the total expenses and the Conalma request amount. Then you can save your budget table and close it. Now, I said I was going to talk a little bit more about that resources tab. If you look in the resources tab, you will see links to various documents related to the grant cycles, needs assessments, guidelines, pretty useful stuff. So spend a little time in there. Now, suppose you have to go away before you finish completing the grant application. Happens a lot. That's what the Save Draft button is for. If you click on Save Draft, it will save all your work that you've already entered. You can then go back out to your home portal. You can log off and log back in. And when you come back, you will find your application in the In Progress tab on your user portal. As you can see, I have 2 applications underway here. Save often. I think we'll stop there for now, and I will show you in the next video how to complete your attachments, your authorization, and we'll talk a little bit more in general about some of the things that pop up depending on what you select in your eligibility quizzes and the various aspects of the application we haven't seen yet. As ever, if you need help, your system administration team is here. That's me. That's Nelsie, our program director. That's Dennis McCutcheon, our Communications and Outreach Coordinator, and you can reach us at sysadmin@conalma.org, sysadmin@conalma.org. Thank you for listening.